Today we'll have a look at the three clauses of the common social structure of the Emnic kingdoms and duchies. The most numerous social class, to which most adult Emnites belong, are the Omora, the questing class. This is everyone who is currently undertaking, or has already completed, an errand, a journey, which in Emnic culture is practically holy. Usually this is from one Emnic city to another, with a caravan collecting taxes, trading goods, or, in the recent past, making war. But it can also be to another location. For example, an Ager settlement, an important Moorish landmark, or the Marakian regions. Or it can be an expedition striking deep into the largely unexplored, unconquered Moorish heartland, the unknowns of the distant weaklands, or a mission to examine or excavate ruins, or to surveil and study plants and animals. These excursions bring varying levels of respect and status to the Omoran knights and knightesses' names. But what is important is that they do journey, at least once. People who haven't can't hold any high-ranking public office, can't sit on councils or guilds, can't serve the Emnic church, or generally frowned upon, and in some cities can't even operate a business. Ask an Emnonite why this is, and they'll give you many different answers.
The errand is ordained by God! Do you expect to reach the godly lands from within your own walls?
It's a culling. The priests are stupid, or evil, or both. They long for a time where the fields were watered with the blood of their kinsmen, and when the farmland owned by those fallen in the wars could be bought for a pittance.
Why, it is crucial to the survival of the whole Emnic institution. Like the sword that is never drawn rusts in its scabbard, so does the society crumble whose people do not exert themselves, who do not strive for anything beyond the bare necessities. Speaking of errands, surely you have heard of the time I slew the wolf of Emwall? That was an adventure, my friend, and let me tell you, the size of its teeth! It could have bitten the head of a man clean off, and in fact, before I set upon it, I had recently lost my greatsword, you see, and could only face...
In modern times, a journey can be a relatively safe affair, especially for those burdened by an abundance of coin. They can hire others to defend them, pitch their tent, cook their food, carry their gear, or even carry them themselves. They can bribe organizers to get out of clearing the trail or the salt work. People who are not in the public eye can have documents forged to prove they have made a journey, when they actually haven't. There are also no ironclad rules for what constitutes a successful errand. Take the historic Edelmarkian explorer Suleiman, for example. He set out to cross the entirety of Morn, and exclaimed he had done so when he discovered a large body of water. It did, however, turn out to not be the ocean, but a large lake which had never been mapped. Despite not satisfying his initial goal, he was no doubt counted among the Omora in his time. A popular way to commemorate an errand is engravings on armor, swords or daggers, or on yourself, with tattoos depicting a certain event or challenge overcome. Even the daughters and sons of the most accomplished families hold no power or influence before they join the questing class of the Omora. Bold expeditions and heroic deeds have made rulers out of peasants, and failed errands have ended the lives or careers of rising statesmen. Those who fail in their quests, don't have the means to carry one out, or simply don't care to attempt one, are the Enka. For this drawing I needed a reference for the pose. The current era is labelled by the Emnites as the Age of Eternally Blossoming Kinship. It was ushered in with the arrival of the Ronmari 31 years past, which led to a solidification of unity within the Emnic Concord. It also introduced blood magic, of which an adept, a sacrificati, both can replace multiple knights in the field and seem to have an intimidating effect on Moorish wildlife, who avoid these strange and fiendish individuals. Fewer wars and armed conflicts, the Ronmariners' proficiency as caravan guards, and the increase in general prosperity and population size. The combination of these factors have resulted in the supply of Omora to be outgrowing the demand, and a larger Enka class than ever before. The offspring of high-status families, born with silver swords in hand, may be content living lives of decadence. Many others turn from God, Emno, who teaches ambition and the search for glory above all else, and turns to his antipode, the she-god, Kana, whose reticent acolytes holds pacifism and tranquility as the holiest of attributes. The highest social class are the Abramon, typically, but not necessarily, kings, queens, dukes, duchesses, high priests, master swordsmen, master generals, and master politicians, and the most prominent among their kin, belong to this class. Inauguration in this class of Emnic society is rare, but typically one can hope to attain this status after a illustrious career of daring journeys, great deeds, or revolutionary discoveries. The process of being elevated to the Abramon is started when a group of 9 other Abramon support the rise, and no more than one other publicly objects to it. Then a ceremony takes place, typically including a parade and performances of theater and dance, depicting the newly arisen Abramon's accomplishments. More recently, ritual sacrifices have sometimes been added to the procedure to honor God, per Ronmari tradition. The Emnic monarchies are typically hereditary, and should events unfold to put a member of the Omora or the Enka on the throne, a king's or queen's tour is immediately organized. A voyage taking the monarch to each of the duchies under their rule and the kingdoms they are allied with, before returning home and swiftly being declared an Abramon. It is evident those of noble birth have a clear advantage here. It seems that they require significantly less experience before the question of elevating them is raised. This character is Naiminia Rosa, whom I have mentioned in other videos. She is the Duchess of Red Rock, named Wardslayer, and was elevated to the Abramon some 30 years ago after the extraordinary feat of slaying the Warden of the Forest, an enormous tiger dwelling in the outskirts of the Mornish heartlands. Her clothing, with its in Emnic fashion uncommon high waist, signifies her belonging to this social class, and that she, should she choose to, can be content with what she has accomplished in life, and doesn't need to strive for further greatness. That's all for now, just a quick video while I'm working on 2 other time-intensive projects. Until then, bye!